Excuse me. Yeah.
Peter Boyle is a tough, ill-mannered cop who is run down in the line of duty. But that's not the end of his story. No. He's reincarnated.
Ha! Surprise!
As a streetwise bulldog in Puchinsky.
What are you going to do now? Well, first I'm going to try licking myself, and then I'm going to catch my killer.
The talking dog teams up with his astonished former partner to put the bite on crime. It's touching.
Look at me. I've become a dog. It's all sinking in now.
It's poignant.
But it's life. It's precious life.
It's unforgettable.
You're a dog. I'm a cop.
This is ridiculous.
And as always, Wakanda forever. Paid for by Kamala Harris.
You better act someone. You rolling with Bob Saget. Numero uno. Nobody does it better. You rolling with Bob Saget.
Why can't you just make a fucking hot dog?
I believe.
I'm safe.
Okay. Wow, I need a second for this one.
Scheisse! Stay Bombad. Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What's going on, Bombad fam? These are totally legitimate images from Spider-Man Brand New Day. It has nothing to do with Turn Off the Dark. Everything has to do with Brand New Day. That was crazy when the Goblin showed up like that. That's all I'm gonna say. That was wild. Anyway, what's up, guys? I'm rocking Paul Stanley on my shirt today. Shout out to our boy Paul Stanley. Scheiße! I'm super excited to be here. It's gonna be a fun night. We're talking about Brand New Day. We may have some special guests drop by. Gonna shoot a link out to a handful of people. I know Eli enjoyed the movie. Eli, if you want to be involved, just shoot me a little text, Eli, and we'll get you that link so you can come share your thoughts as well. Love this movie. Honestly, one of my favorite movies so far of the year, and we've had an insane run, but I don't talk about these insane runs alone. No, I do not. Hey, big Uwu Senpai. Oh, shit, I'm an Uwu Senpai.
滲んだ星を数えて思い出す夏の日一人ぼっちの夜幸せは
Oh, wait.
The illusion is ruined forever.
It's been so long, Nosferatu. How are you?
I was once a woo senpai. I used to beat my students with a giant fan. I would call them rotten tangerines. And I was a sexy grandma. Spider-Man was pretty. It was the issue was pretty good though.
You enjoyed it?
I honestly, I thought it was. I was kind of big into No Way Home,
Yeah.
And that was, I think, that was my top for a little while.
So
this one, I just loved John Bernthal's Punisher being, like a central figure in this Peter Parker's life. It was pretty great.
It was pretty good. I like this shirt. It didn't. He didn't bring me.
Excuse me.
It didn't bring me any vibes of like the guys that drive around in F-150s here in Louisiana with the Punisher logo and like the "Don't Tread on Me." But why didn't he give me those vibes? They made him soft.
Because he's not a fucking fascist.
Hey, Nosferatu, thank you for coming by.
Okay.
Super happy to have you here with all 15 of our live viewers.
It's been great.
I'm gonna bring Jerry back in. Actually,
pretty quick.
I'm gonna bring Jerry back. Actually, what is? I just found a really weird image. What is this?
Oh, hey, everybody, let's talk about Spider-Man. Hey, baby, they're gonna stick this. What the fuck are they trying to stick in my belly button, man? I'll tell you what, poking my nipple. I mean, come on, we've sang about everything in this goddamn photo. Oh, these little guys are doing something weird.
You haven't talked about what they're force feeding.
No, they're right there. Those are multivitamins. Oh, hey, little mama. Oh, they stuck a tube inside my urethra. Then they flipped a switch and it made me hard, but it wasn't any comfortable. And they sucked all the juice out of my bone. Well, if you know these aliens, they love their balls. Woo! Sorry, that was a little bit of Great Balls of Fire at the end. I know that's not my song, but all right.
Wow, look at this. Bloom. Good on you. Everyone go follow Bloom. Bloom has 93 followers on Blue Sky. That's fantastic.
93 followers, and they are going to. I can't. I don't know. I'm lost it.
Louis fan I7Y said, "Huru." I just picked Huru. Anyway, we're here to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Some great stills from this, Right? Oh my God, bless. Read it. I want to read it out loud. That was funny. Hold on. Which better tell me send my money to Israel like the guy with the thin blue line Punisher logo on his truck. True story, by the way. That's good stuff. Bloom.
That's fair.
Just wait till you go live on YouTube and you get 10 live viewers. Then you're an influencer. We had a really big convo with say it again?
Well, I was gonna say, and then you do your little improv bits that are okay, and then it tapers off and stuff. That's how you separate the wheat. That's how you separate the wheat from the chaff, though. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. Super happy to everyone here tonight.
Bad numbers.
Let me give Eli this link, young buck. Eli Kaplan Packer.
Buck Eli.
Eli, it's me, Pop Pop. I want to kiss your lips.
Woo.
Let me close my door. Hold on.
Go and close it. I'm trying to figure out if Woo is like, let's see, what happened right underneath.
What hell wrong with you?
That's probably what it is. Probably honestly, that's even like that's better. That's better.
I remember so here's a deep cut. This is a legit Jared. If Jared's watching, which I guess he's not, guys. Feelings are getting hurt here. What F is he, bro? There was an NPC you could kill in the Revenge of the Sith game who had a double-bladed lightsaber, and he was a big, tall, green guy. He would go hurrah anytime you would fight him. And I remember being a kid, being like 9 and going hurrah at the beach with my cousins because they thought it was hilarious. So that's when I saw whir, I said hurrah, whir.
Yeah.
You know,
here we go. Good guess here. White House, Russia.
WHRU.
We're all chopped unks here, so we don't know. We don't speak your
we don't speak your cuck language.
Love. That's how you get. That's how they do it now, right? That's how you do a heart, right?
It's just this. Did you just do this?
Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it.
What the hell? No, it's just this. It's just one hand.
No, it's this. It's clearly this.
Oh.
Anyway,
Winter Soldier. Anyway,
activated.
Okay. Here we are. The year is 2026. The last Spider-Man movie to be released. We had a video go viral for it. Not viral. It was the most viewed live stream of all time. At one point, I believe the number was 7,000 concurrent live viewers because they thought I had the No Way Home trailer before the world did, and they were in the chat like, dude, I have never seen StreamYard like fucking do the whole like, I feel like I'm a famous Twitch streamer. It was like for 2 minutes, 7,000 live viewers at once because they were convinced I had the trailer, and it was like me. I think I might have me, Eric Cottom. I gotta find it. It was
which we did, but we weren't going to show it to any of them. Yeah,
no. And we of course talked about No Way Home. I'm pretty sure back in the day, and obviously that movie. One of my favorite Spider movies, one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had. And this summer has been a standout for movie experiences. Hell, on this channel alone, we've had 4 separate live streams on movies that have come out this summer. Disclosure Day, Disclosure Day, Odyssey, Obsession, Backrooms, Supergirl, and Toy Story. And then now Spider-Man. I just can't believe I'm almost happily Brooklyn. What's going on, kiddo? I'm happy that we're kind of at a dying point. The next one is the end of Oak Street. That's the next like. I've been going to the movies a lot, and I'm thankful. But this was the last like big huge movie of the summer. So
lest we forget the big one this weekend, Super Troopers 3. Here we go. Everybody been dying and waiting for Super Troopers 3. Here it is. It's arrived.
I'm more of a Reno 911 guy. I've watched Super Troopers. I didn't think it was that funny. If I'm going to be honest with you.
You didn't think it was that funny, Meow?
Stop. I understand the reference.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries. References. Okay. Bring him. Let's bring Eli in.
No, hold on real quick before we bring Eli in. We both enjoyed this movie. There are themes to analyze. There's things to discuss. There's moments in Marvel canon that genuinely excite me for this moment. You know,
definitely.
My favorite argument, still to this day, there's Marvel fatigue, right? And look, that commentary can work for me on a TV level. However, it has never worked for me on a film going level.
Mhm.
I've never not missed an opening weekend of a Marvel film, probably since 2017. Okay. I love these movies. I really
Right.
do. I have high hopes for every one of them. They usually always deliver, with the only exception being Eternals for me. I'm not going to get into it. I'm
Can't
not
get on
going to
that.
get into it.
On that train with
I
you.
know. And you did
I
like
know.
Morbius, which is probably the best Marvel movie. That being said, no, but real talk, honestly,
I'm gonna piss on your grave.
I cannot believe, and this is something that kind of the kickoff point. We knew the pre-sales for this movie were really good. I think the number was like 200 million. The pre-sales were like really impressive, right? Oh my God, 200, that's insane. By Monday, it crossed $1 billion. It made, I think the stat is it made more money than Endgame in opening weekend, or someone, Eli might know it faster than I do.
I feel like day one, I think like opening it made like opening night, it is like
300
top of
or
all
something.
time now. I think.
Yeah. And let's be real, there was nothing in the trailers that indicated that people would show up except for the Punisher. There was no like no hints at anything. There was no leaks that said specifically that we were going to have anything like a Toby or Andrew, crossover. So this movie, anyway, sorry.
Well, no. Finish your thought. All I was gonna say is just that like if they still are having round the clock showings of it at my local AMC,
it's
just
insane.
like they're just showing it like on the hour every hour. It's almost to every half hour. Last weekend it was every half hour, pretty much.
It's crazy.
And so,
like my mom wanted to go see it on a Saturday with my stepdad. Like, you want to come? I'm like, sure. She looked at, I think, Fandango, one of the apps. She's like, it's all sold out. I'm like, yeah, you want to go see the movie
movies
on
are
opening
back,
weekend?
baby.
Like, you know what's crazy? That argument, as much as I've always felt that movies have been back since Tenet came out in 2020. I'm just going to be honest. I was in that theater in July of 2020 with the mask
Tenet?
on,
Okay.
sitting, five seats apart.
I went to see Tenet. In theaters as well.
And like, even in the time, like Louisiana, people were still adhering to the wearing the mask thing in July of 2020. I understand why going to see a movie in a much bigger populous city like in LA or a New York or a Chicago would be kind of problematic because of just, you have no idea who you're around. But in Louisiana, I mean, it was me, Eric, and Kevin. We had been close. And like, I remember being scared at the time that movies were not going to die. I didn't think every theater and it was over. I thought maybe one of the bigger chains and a couple of the smaller chains in Louisiana would go if we didn't get our asses back in theaters. But here we are 6 years later. And I mean, oh my God, Odyssey screenings in 70 millimeter are still sold out.
They're still going. I have tickets for the 31st of this month.
That's fucking crazy.
The
31st?
Yeah, they fly up. Maybe it already sold out like crazy. They announced that they're going to be playing more in the local IMAX up here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
through September. So let me know, man. I'm gonna say, book your flight.
That's insane.
We'll grab
it.
Let's go.
That is truly insane. So okay, so I'm just wanting to preface all this that we have a close group of friends and we all shared our thoughts on this movie and phone calls and in group chats and everything. And I mean, I left this movie just stunned, astonished, genuinely so impressed that they didn't rehash anything or take things in a direction that felt predictable. It felt like a one-of-one movie. And, to me, when I watch a movie like that, look at this. Poor Brian. We got to get Brian YouTube Premium. I don't know why. We got to make our money somehow, Brian. We got to make our
Sorry.
money somehow. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
bud.
Thank you for suffering, though.
Thank you for suffering.
And thank you to our Patreon supporters.
Yes. Charity.
For nothing. No.
We're going to make our post tonight. We'll be
It's
back.
gonna happen. We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. We're doing it again. I've rambled a lot. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take over most of this conversation. I am just doing a giant, I guess, build up to this. I mean, I love this movie. I can't wait to see it again. And I would love to hear your thoughts because, you had the privilege of being very much aware. You were like, what, 2002? So you would have been
2002. I was in junior high. I was
you were like 12 or 13.
So it was the excitement around like that first like Sam Raimi Spider-Man was crazy insane because no one had been able to do Spider-Man before, like in live action. They had the show in the 70s and stuff that's, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
But to the place where they would treat the subject matter like seriously and try to tell a good story about it, like, because it is it's mythology, it's morality tales. It's like stories of heroes. It's our Hercules stories, comic books and stuff. And like people were finally like X-Men, I think was like Blade. I know everyone's like Blade was the first one. Blade did like walk so all these could run, but like X-Men was first just like punch through the dam that just like it was not going back. And like here we are in this era full on, because you couldn't take all the kids to see Blade. Not every parent would take their child to see the Blood Rave.
Or Mystique, or like X-Men, a naked Mystique.
Even,
I remember
even naked Mystique though, but that was PG-13. So like parents were just like, all right. They didn't care as much back then too. But that Spider-Man though was like, I can't believe that they're finally doing this. And then I mean, of course, it has that unfortunate first teaser that is the Twin Towers with the web in the middle, which was a great fucking teaser. It's a great teaser. It's just I wish that I love that we should find that one and watch it on stream sometime. But so then fast forward to today. So like I've always been a Toby guy, right?
Yeah,
always
me
been a
too.
Toby guy.
Me too.
I know we've got friends who swear by Andrew Garfield, and he's fantastic. He's fantastic as well. They all had their own spin on the character. My favorite still, and this is after 4 movies, Tom Holland is he's there. He's the one, man. He's my top guy for actors who have played Spider-Man in live action. And I don't know, he puts so much he's a nerd, but you feel the moral center of him, and he's also very he's got that wit and stuff to him.
Oh my god,
like that very just sarcastic, dry, self-deprecating humor a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
But also, nothing against Andrew, nothing against Toby. He is the most likable of the Peter Parkers and the most handsome.
Yeah.
Genuinely handsome. I've got friends that are gay that love the movie because they think Tom Holland's attractive. They think he's a good Spider-Man. Honestly, I've got people that have told me that I mostly see these movies because I like Tom Holland as a person. He's a great actor, and he's just passionate, and he's good, and he's cute. And I've heard that from people. Literally, some of my closest friends have heard that. And then of course the other reason is that he wanted this role forever. He's been playing this role. It'll be, when did Civil War come out? 2016. So he's been playing this role for 10 years now.
Yeah, it's been a decade.
10. No, was it? God,
and
was
he's
Civil War
just now playing. He's just now playing just out of a 4-year out of high school student.
God, isn't that amazing? And I'll never forget seeing that first trailer, Underoos, and it was him, and it was so convincing, and the suit looked so good.
That first trailer, by the way, when we're Spider-Man's coming to the MCU, was
bonkers,
gasoline, man, fucking gas,
bonkers. So Eli, yes, he has played Spider-Man for a decade. It's been 9 years since his first role. And know what's crazy too when it comes down to it? Homecoming, one of the best, one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, just because of the
Mm.
whole him and Vulture scene together. I mean, that was just so
Oh,
so deep. The car
instantly
ride,
iconic. Instantly
yeah,
iconic.
dude.
Like one of the great reveals of like at least hero movies, but I don't know if I'd quite go as far to say cinema, but
Yeah,
just a really fucking great reveal, you know?
yeah,
And also one of my favorite things I always like thought about as a kid and stuff, or like even
Yeah.
watching the Toby movies is like, I wonder what Spider-Man does when he's like in a like a neighborhood, like a suburb. What's he do when there's nothing to like web swing from and stuff? That was a really fun thing because I always thought about that. Living nowhere near any cities like New York or anything like that.
Like Toby's character. Toby literally lived in a suburb. So we're gonna bring Eli on in a moment. I just want to say that his portrayal in Infinity War, great. His portrayal in Endgame, amazing. His portrayal then following up with Far From Home and then No Way Home. Like, it's just he had maybe 6 movies under his belt already, and then you key him up for this big one where it's like, okay, now he's his own person. He doesn't need his friends anymore. Doesn't have to need his friends anymore, and that becomes the crux of the whole movie. I'm getting excited. Eli, we're gonna bring you in, bud, with a special clip. We thought our friend Michael would be here, so let me. Oh no, hold on. I gotta go to the different brand iconography. Oh, there's the scenes from Brand New Day that I love so much.
Oh my god,
cool scene
when the three Spider-Man,
the gay Green Goblin.
When they did that number, that rendition of New York with Green Goblin,
with gay Green Goblin.
Honestly, it was inspiring, frankly.
It was. You know what's funny? Every time I show this thumb, we get like 10 plus viewers. I don't know if it's like YouTube's
Come
like,
in, guys.
Oh my god. So what is the deal here? Anyway, we're gonna bring in a good friend, Eli. We're gonna play this exciting clip for Eli. And Eli, you can come on. You can talk about whatever you want, bud. You're the only that's called that has the call-in link, and we're here to hang out with you, bud. You can say the whole entire show, whatever works. Okay. All right, Eli, it's me, Pop.
Oh, I'm so glad that clip was used to bring me on. I love that clip so much.
Which one?
Good morning, Princess. I love that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I really love that clip. Hey guys.
Hey Eli.
I'm a late bloomer as a Marvel fan, so this is actually my first theatrical Spider-Man movie that I've seen.
Oh my God, you're right. I forget. So Eli, tell us your Marvel journey, just for the sake of people that aren't aware, because we've been in the loop on this for a while.
It's not a publicized thing, and that's not like anything of choice or anything. It just hasn't been a topic of conversation because I mostly talk about Star Wars, and that's great. But my cousin, who I'm very close with, yes, Svetnik, I will talk about my name very soon because.
Well, I was gonna say I just about had to compose
It's a lesson Marvel needs to learn. God damn it!
I had to compose myself because I read your name like just now. And I was...
Don't do it. Don't do
Stifle a laugh. Stifle a laugh. Anyway, continue.
But no, I'm very close with my cousin, and she is a very big fan of Marvel. And so about a few years ago, we started the MCU, watched Iron Man, and I've been catching up with the MCU since then. I kind of like I was in obviously after Iron Man, but like really after Thor. I was like, I'm invested. Let's do this. I haven't gotten fully caught up. I'm about 2 years behind on Marvel stuff.
It's not bad though, dude. That's pretty good.
So I've finished Echo, and I think the next thing I'm watching is Deadpool and Wolverine. Which, by the way, this is the crazy thing when talking about this movie. Deadpool and Wolverine is the only non-Spider-Man MCU film since Endgame to make over $1 billion.
Wow.
It's
and look,
since Endgame have been Far From Home, No Way Home, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Brand New Day.
Wow. So I want to talk about that too, because you're someone we talk about with these kind of stuff in Discord calls often. The whole box office thing I know is just, it's kind of tired commentary in some ways. People really don't know how to talk about it anymore. It is a feat now to cross $1 billion, whereas in 2015 it was not expected, but it was common for a Star Wars movie or a Marvel movie to do really well, really
And there's
quickly.
going to be one more movie, I'm convinced, that's going to cross $1 billion by the time the year's out.
Dune?
No.
Oh, do tell.
Doomsday.
Oh, Doomsday. Yeah. Doomsday. Well,
Doomsday's going to cross $1 billion.
But the thing is, everyone focuses on, and the next weekend it dropped off. I'm like, well, no shit. There's no way it's going to continue.
That's what it always does. Like,
Yeah,
unless
it's
you're a
done
sleeper
forever.
hit like Obsession, that's always what you're going to do. It's something that like really only like I only really care about when it's like movies I like that are I feel like getting shafted at the box office. I mean, the prime example, of course, is The Mandalorian and Grogu, where if you look at it, it actually did like it's not like Supergirl, another movie which I really liked, where it didn't even make back its budget. It made back its budget and then some, but due to how people calculate what's a success and what's a failure in box office and stuff like that, it's what is that anyway, and how do people define it? Like I've been seeing people define like a lot of like Mandalorian Grogu as a failure, and it's like, okay, by what metric?
Yeah,
how
exactly.
Is it a failure?
Yeah, it did better than most movies did this whole summer.
That's
like,
true. It did better than Supergirl. It did better than like really the only films I think that have. It did better than Backrooms. It did better than Moana. Yeah, and Eric makes a good point. Yeah, the marketing costs, we don't know the marketing costs for movies aren't publicized, which makes it so difficult. So yeah.
Look, and I'll be so honest here. When I watched Brand New Day, all I could see was the paid advertisements in the middle of it, and nothing against it. Spider-Man's been kind of notorious for that. I remember in 2002, Singular Wireless had Spider-Man fucking everywhere. Like I remember my aunt worked for Singular at the time. She worked for Singular Corporate. And like they specifically like, you got friends and family, but here's a whole Spider-Man action figure set. You got you have what kind of phone you got? You got that Nokia. Here's a little, remember the plastic cases you could put on your phone, like the really shitty ones that like clip off there.
Look at it.
Yeah, it makes them like at least like an inch thicker. Yeah.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, Spider-Man has been kind of notorious for having paid advertisements, in the actual products themselves.
I'm not going to deign to blame any specific person or company or something like that.
Yeah.
But the worst thing about this movie, in my opinion, is that a certain company that owns the rights to Spider-Man and his characters now has approximately 1.2 billion good reasons to keep fighting for that license instead of turning it back to the company who knows way better what to do with it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Sony would be the one to buy these sponsorships, though. That's my thing. Disney does not want to fork out more money.
I was naming names.
But like
I almost lost interest at the beginning. Because when Peter goes into that bodega,
I know what you're gonna say.
Grab something right next to Biro, which is his non-alcoholic beer, and I was like, all right, man, I get it.
Well,
Fine.
all the Samsung flip phones. There's the shot of all the destroyed phones and the little Tupperware container, and like I'm like, they're really doing this. You know what I mean? And then like I open my Fire Stick, and there's like an actual full-on ad with Ned, with the Samsung Flip, and I'm like, this is great. This is like they are really leaning into it, which does not bother me. But that's the Sony way, right? Sony's gonna find some way.
I hadn't really noticed it, but I don't think I'm great at catching stuff like that. The Bureau stuff is like, okay, it's his thing. Like it's something he's starting to.
This would jump just
over
so
and stuff like that.
Like immediately took me out. I was
like I'll give him a break on that one, but like the Samsung stuff, I get how that's really freaking annoying.
To me, it's not so much annoying. It just shows that Sony, the priorities are really interesting. They would never do that in a Disney-owned project. They wouldn't want to. They wouldn't want. and the thing is, those are the companies that fund this movie for the most part. You know,
Or-
it's
or-
all these
or-
private
They wouldn't
investors.
want to do. They wouldn't want.
They wouldn't as blatantly. I'm sure there's stuff like I think there's been stuff like what Tony Stark is like what watch Tony
His
Stark's
suits.
wearing and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and his
that.
watches and his
what
Audis.
Glasses.
And what I think there might have even been like what car like I don't remember. It's been a while since
It was
I
an
watched
Audi.
What car Stephen Strange was driving when he got into that accident?
What was it?
Don't buy that one.
Yeah,
I forget. But
anyway,
I mean,
go, Jerry.
Listen. Well, they want so, but why not put all of these products in there and real live companies to make it feel more real, a la Zack Snyder style?
Oh yeah, like, that's the exact person you want to bring in here.
That's why he put that in the Man of Steel. Well, they're smashing through something. They're smashing through a goddamn Best Buy.
Making superhero movies, and your first reference is Zack Snyder. What a
You're welcome, my friend.
So it's so funny you bring this up because, like, I believe Spider-Man can still be used at like Six Flags or some shit.
Disneyland,
like it's
Disneyland. He's like, I think in Avengers Camp. I've seen him in Avengers Campus.
He is at Avengers Campus. That's right. Can't be a Disney World.
It's so weird. Here's another weird thing about the Spider-Man deal.
Damn you, Ron DeSantis.
To get about how freaking weird this thing is. They can't use Spider-Man in MCU shows. In live action MCU shows. They can use Spider-Man in animated MCU shows. Because they've used him in What If, and then they did that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show that rocks.
Oh,
So
okay.
if they do it in animation, they're free to use Spider-Man. But if you want live action Spider-Man TV, that's where we got Noir, which is on
Prime,
which is on Prime, and
really
not anything to do with Marvel.
And
I love that season. The Spider Noir is great. What I'd love is other Marvel characters in it, but I know they can't do that because Sony doesn't have those rights.
So we're gonna bring Jared in because Jared's in the back and he wants to explain these at a level of autism that would be very helpful. Jared, how are you feeling, buddy?
Why can't you just make a fucking hot dog?
I'm great, and I have tism on this subject matter hitherto unknown.
That's correct.
Jared, your video's coming in really good. Your video's coming in really.
I'm on my phone, so.
Oh wow, that's great.
Next DC match, I'm just doing it on my phone. That way we won't have the controversial "When did I say Hauser?" But because that was the biggest controversy of that match. No, Eli's right absolutely. For the most part. The thing that's interesting is that Marvel also maintains a majority on merch as well, so Marvel, therefore Disney. And what makes it also interesting is that there are little archaic little bits of like watching the MCU soft launch being able to use Spider-Man in this context. If you go back to Ultimate Spider-Man, the animated series that ran on Disney XD before Peter entered the MCU, they're basically doing a version of like the Ultimate Comics, but with a very MCU flavor to it, because they had the rights to those characters in animation. When you go back and you look at the way that Marvel sold off their rights to dig themselves out of bankruptcy, a lot of it came down to live action rights. The way that they soft launched the MCU and soft launched that this could work was by doing animated movies in the same universe. There's the Ultimate Avengers and Ultimate Avengers like Rise of the Panther, I think, and then they did Young Avengers, and then a duology of Hulk versus Thor and Hulk versus Wolverine, that were kind of like, okay, people are into this shared continuity malarkey. And yeah, like you guys were talking about the parks. Universal Studios has a vice grip on leasing Marvel at like the Islands of Adventure or whatever the hell it's called. But what's funny about it is that they can't use modern Marvel. So if you look at that park, it is kind of locked into who and what was popular in the 90s.
Okay.
So they haven't been able to chase the hype of people give a shit about the Guardians of the Galaxy. They haven't been able to chase the hype of Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Ant-Man are all household names. It's basically Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk.
Because those were the big three up until
Those were the big three back in the
2008.
Right.
You know, it was Spider-Man, Hulk, and Wolverine on fucking popsicle boxes and shit.
And by the way, let's appreciate the fact. Two things. First of all, let's appreciate the fact that we're almost to completing the trinity of the big three of Marvel meeting each other in the MCU. We had Hulk and Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine. We had Spider-Man and the Hulk in Brand New Day.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to get Spider-Man and Wolverine to meet, which, you know, I'm not going to get into leaks or anything, but could be possible.
Feels likely.
So that'll be exciting to complete the trilogy. I will also say it's very funny that the Hulk is in this film to me, because that gets into another set of rights, because part of the Hulk, like the it's not as big of a deal as the Spider-Man stuff, but the Hulk, back when Marvel was selling all their rights in the 90s, was sold to Universal. And Universal still maintains some of those rights. And one of the deals stipulate that Universal has to have approval over a film headed by the Hulk. So Hulk can not be the head of the main character of a film unless Universal has some approvals and stuff. And Jared, feel free to correct me on the specifics.
No,
so that's
you're
why
right.
We haven't gotten a solo film of the Hulk since 2008. And what's funny is one of the other stipulations for a Spider-Man in MCU film is that he has to be accompanied by at least one MCU character. So it's very funny that Hulk and Spider-Man in this movie are kind of like filling out the other parts of each other's contracts in this way.
That is wild. I didn't know it was that
he's
complex
100%
in
right.
that regard.
The weird thing, and I this is one of those things like behind the scenes MCU stuff I would kill to know is how in the hell they could make a She-Hulk show. I to this day am like, I don't understand how they were able to do something with She-Hulk. You know, but because it's in that whole miasma, you know, it's in the same way that like Marvel Studios couldn't make a Black Cat movie.
Okay, so real talk.
She's in that Spider-Man.
Jared, explain this. How do they make this? And I mean that seriously.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you.
Julie Taymor.
Music by U2, by the way. Music by.
I'm gonna be so real with you, Scotty.
I don't know.
Turn Off the Dark feels like something I should know a lot about. I do not.
We got to get Michael in here, man. What is
Michael's your Turn Off the Dark. If you want to do a Turn Off the Dark deep dive, I am so down to accompany.
The thing I love about Turn Off the Dark, and I'm not very knowledgeable about it either, but I do know that it introduced a new Spider-Man villain named Swiss Miss, and we have never seen them ever again. We never saw them before, and we've never seen them since.
What a lineup for the Sinister Six, by the way. I love Sinister Six lineups with characters who have never been on the Six. Namely Carnage.
Carnage.
Any symbiote on the Sinister Six feels wrong.
Putting Carnage on a Broadway stage is absolutely astounding. But yeah, no, the right situation is weird and fascinating. And Eli hit the nail on the head with like the weird TV stuff. I think they could get Spider-Man on TV. I think that it's if I were a betting man, I'd say that it's both studios playing hardball with each other.
Yeah, I think they technically could. It's just that I don't think anybody wants to put in the effort to get Spider-Man into a TV show. I just don't think anybody wants to put in the effort.
Let's just focus on the discussion at hand as well here. I assumed, because I know they had that Punisher one-off episode. I did not end up watching it on Disney Plus.
I haven't watched it either, and it's great because the film doesn't require it at all.
Okay, but
but very good. I have to say,
I was confused because the whole Staten Island comment kept getting repeated, and I kept thinking, thinking, oh, that's from the show. That's from the show. That's what I missed out.
It's the Battle of
the business on Cato Neimoidia.
It's It's Budapest in the Marvel universe. It's something that we haven't seen. They did it with Black Widow and Hawkeye in Budapest. Like they mentioned that in the
Yeah.
Avengers, and we've never seen that.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Honestly, like that's actually probably one of its films, if I can say, biggest strengths is how they handle Frank. I think that this film's handling of Frank is near perfect, if not perfect. And I'm a lot less high, and actually, I know Jared and I, not to speak for him, are less high on this movie than quite a few people. I still love it, but the stuff with Frank, perfect, no notes. I will just say, on a personal thing, this is not affecting the quality of the film. I would have loved if he ever wanted to tell Peter something.
Yes, we know. So true, bestie. So true, bestie. Let me tell you something.
So I think it'd be nice to air our grievances now before we glaze. Because I talked to Trey about this in private. The only thing I didn't like was the amount of times they showed Michael Mando in the trailer. I was like, oh, we're gonna get the Scorpion promise, all that we had in Homecoming. Like we're gonna get some Scorpion in this bitch, and it's gonna be played by Nacho Varga from Better Call Saul. I was hyped. Okay. Then we saw all the other footage of the other villains he was going to go up against. And I was thinking we would get not just those singular shots that were comic book cover ripoffs, you know? I thought we were going to get at least a sequence with each
the
one.
Tombstone one.
Yeah.
Devastation. I'll say this. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to say that was the only thing out of the whole movie. And the Jean Grey thing, I know Jared has some thoughts on that. I'm sure you do as well, Eli. I am not as invested in Jean Grey at all. But I will say the only thing that bummed me out was the just 2 scenes of Michael Mando in it, because I was genuinely looking forward.
And one of them, it's not even.
I did
one of them, it's not even Matt Gargan. It's not even Matt Gargan.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, so Jared and I think have similar thoughts about the Probably Fine, although I think we diverge in some places. I will say that my biggest problem with this film, and I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about something related to this. I like Jean. I love Sadie Sink. I think she's great. I think she plays this role excellently.
Yes.
I wanted a classic Spider-Man villain. I wanted a Spider-Man villain, and I was disappointed that didn't air out. It's also weird because I was thinking about this. People have been describing this film as very similar in its conclusion to Thunderbolts, which I can understand. But it's funny because Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, who've written all of the MCU Spider-Man films, also co-wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp, which, if you think about it, the Ghost storyline and the Jean Grey storyline are actually pretty similar.
They are. That's a good point.
Which is not a slight on. That's not the specific problem I have with the Jean storyline specifically. Yeah. My thing, and look, I'm not an expert on the comics. I'm not. I've read some of the comics. I've read a very small fraction of the comics. But through the animated series and the films, I love the X-Men. I love Jean Grey. And I was, throughout the film, I will say, so I was in an early screening for people who had Prime and stuff like that. Somebody gave me a ticket for that. And when the Spider-Man typed in the name Jean Elaine Grey, even though that was the prevailing theory, everybody gasped. It was a good moment.
Yeah. Both of my screenings.
And I'm not saying that Jean can never be morally dubious and never make wrong decisions, but baseline Jean Grey, to me, it's a bit of a stretch to make as dangerous decisions as she does. Now, I understand the underlying situations behind it and all that kind of stuff, and we don't know where she's going in at the end of the movie. I hope she's going to Westchester to meet this guy named Chuck, who can help her out with her problems. But
can I cut you off for a second? Can I cut you off for a second?
Yeah.
This is where I hop off the Jean Grey train. I don't like it. I do not like her being in this movie. A lot of it comes down to I wanted a traditional Spider-Man villain. I hate to say this because I feel like it's so movie YouTuber coded, the complaint. on some level, this movie kind of makes Peter a fucking imbecile. You know, like Damage Control, like extrajudiciously detained and attempted to prosecute Peter, May, Happy, Ned, and MJ through Damage Control's witch hunt, you know, and obviously spurred on by Mysterio. But Damage Control going after them led to the fact that Peter and Aunt May had to leave their home and move in with Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of astounds me to frame Peter in this setting where he's just cooling the gang with DODC. You know, like it's and again, I don't expect every movie to like. And it's like that infamous tweet where it's like people doing discourse because everybody thinks that Black Panther supports their specific definition of communism. We're like, I don't expect Spider-Man movies to be like super anti or super woke and anti-police, whatever. Like, I'm not going to delude myself that a film made by the Walt Disney Company is going to have Peter doing community action outside of the police. However, the second Insomniac game, and this is something I've pointed out to people, because a lot of people don't like how in bed with the cops Peter is in that first game. Like, Peter is helping set up a surveillance state for the police using Oscorp technology in the first game. The first side quest of the game is doing the Patriot Act computer from The Dark Knight. And what I love about the second game, especially with the context of learning from Miles about how Spider-Man's duty is specifically to underserved communities, when you get to that second game, you never see Peter working with the police. You never see Peter working with the police.
Do you think it's fan response?
He's working with the firefighters. He's working with EMS. You know, I think there's brief moments where like he's around the cops, but there's never a moment where Peter gets a call from a cop. And he's like, and he's Spider Cop. You know, that never happens. And again, it's not that I don't. It's like, oh, like rah, no cops in my superhero movie necessarily. And I like the inclusion of Jean DeWolf. If I were to put on my tinfoil hat, Venom confirmed. Now that Jean DeWolf is in play.
Why is that? No, why is that? I don't know why. I don't know what that is.
Because
I'm down.
So long story short, I was going to say the death of Jean DeWolf is a pivotal story in the comics, and basically,
the death of her.
Yeah, she's killed by a villain named Sin Eater, who's basically like a serial killer. And Eddie Brock publishes a story claiming he has deduced the identity of the Sin Eater, and then Peter catches the real Sin Eater. And that is what begins the obsession with Spider-Man through Eddie Brock.
I didn't know this. I like this.
But
interesting.
I just think Peter just seems really stupid the way he's so happy to get into bed with Damage Control. And I really don't like that. And on the topic of Jean Grey, I am in the camp that I really wish some of those prevailing rumors, I don't know if it was a loss in translation or a change that was made. I really wish it was Mr. Negative Martin Lee in this movie. I think a lot of the themes and the big ideas are still very attainable. You know, the power set is very similar. I would argue that we see Martin Lee. I would argue that we see Jean doing things that are more Martin Lee than they are Jean Grey, simply in terms of her power set in the film. I don't know if I'm sold on Sadie Sink's performance. I don't necessarily think she's a bad actor. I'm just kind of tired of seeing Sadie Sink play the same character. The three things that I've seen Sadie Sink in are Stranger Things, the Fear Street trilogy, and Spider-Man Brand New Day. And in all three, she's a fiery, either elder teenager or in her 20s with a dead sibling, with a chip on her shoulder, and it's super hard to get through to. And via another traumatic experience has shown somebody loves her enough to want to sacrifice their life for her. And
because Tom Holland had such a diverse acting resume.
Well, sure. I mean, he has. He fucking has. Telemachus is not Peter Parker. If you want to, I mean, Eli, you told me about that shitty Variety article. I don't know why you're acting like it's correct, but like it's just one of those things where I also don't care. I don't care for this characterization of Jean, as you had said, Eli. I like Jean with some moral ambiguity. I like Jean in that kind of gray area, no pun intended. But a lot of that has to do with like her connection to the Phoenix Force. And I don't. And to your point and why I interjected, I don't want her to be going to Westchester because why the fuck should there be an Xavier Institute in the MCU right now? That makes zero sense. I really do not care for the way that the MCU keeps trying to soft launch mutant kind in the main universe.
Inhumans?
Not the Inhumans. That's a completely different thing. But like,
weren't they part of the Illuminati?
Let's take a head count. Some of them are. So let's take a head count real quick. Namor, Ms. Marvel, Wonder Man, Jean Grey. Yeah, those are our 4 mutants in the MCU right
Sarah,
now.
But yeah,
and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and Spider-Man.
No, he's not a mutant. He's a mutate.
He mutated.
He's a mutate.
He mutated.
He's a
He got
superhuman.
mutated. Spider-Man.
But with those
He got
characters,
spider DNA.
they are like vaguely persecuted by the government more than like anybody. And they have powers that seem as though they kind of had those powers anyway. It just I don't. If we're gonna do mutant stories, do mutant stories and have the infrastructure to tell them, the way they're meant to be told. I just don't get it. I don't get why we went with Jean Grey here. I hate to say this because I want to stick my privates in a blender every time somebody says it about the Rise of Skywalker. But the whole like written and directed by Reddit thing, I like Jean Grey's in the movie because Sadie Sink and a telepath just feels so Mad Libs. I just don't buy it. It feels out of place. I struggle to put my finger on why, but it feels out of place to me, and it feels distracting.
Yes.
And it just doesn't resonate with me on that level. I love so much of this movie. I think it's the best shot, best edited Spider-Man film up to this point. I think that this is probably Tom Holland's best performance as Peter Parker, a character who has developed and grown up so much over his tenure in this role. There's a lot that I love. I love the place it leaves, the MJ relationship. I adore seeing a Peter Parker who is delusionally hopeful, who is doing Spider-Man as a coping mechanism, who is doing Spider-Man as a way to feel an identity when he has completely lost the other one in Peter Parker. And I also love that they do Peter Parker who's bummed out, but not the bizarre Peter Parker depression porn that people on the internet are convinced is in the comics.
Been in the comics for a while, actually, like the new comics.
Yeah, and everybody hates those. Everybody hates modern Spider-Man comics. And what astounds me is the way that the fan base is like, oh, I like when Peter's depressed. I like when Peter's down on his luck. I like when Peter's broke. And okay, cool, you got that here. And every time I saw somebody post about loving this movie, I was like, my goat's never been more depressed. Let's go. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like, this isn't what you said you wanted when he was still Iron Boy Jr. I just I don't know. I've seen so much praise for this that annoys me. That feels like it's coming from a place of misunderstanding the character and the text. And there are things in the film that I love that I think people don't get. And there are things in the film that I just think are either out of place or just don't work for me. And a lot of it hinges on the Jean Grey stuff. I'm seeing the movie again on Saturday. I did big Trump hands on that one. I'm seeing the movie. I'm seeing
Seeing
the
it
movie
bigly.
again. We're sending ice
Jared,
off to those dirty muties. I'm seeing the movie
Jared.
again on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to being able to like really ruminate and process these things. I think on a second watch, Trey told me like the movie goes down easier on a second watch, and I'm really looking forward to that. So
I confirm that. I'll confirm that. It is.
Confirm
It
it.
did for me.
Let Jerry talk. Jerry hasn't spoken yet. Hold on, guy. Hold the fuck on. It's for 2 goddamn seconds. Y'all have been talking for 20 minutes straight. Jerry hasn't said a fucking word.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You spoke for 11
can't-
minutes. I wanted you to speak. I asked you to speak.
I can't.
But Jerry's. I'm cutting Jerry off. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can confirm it. It goes down better on a second watch. I concede my time.
No. I wanted to ask you, did anything bother you? Was there anything that didn't sit well with you
About
when you
this
watched
movie? Well, I mean, I already talked about at the beginning. So my first viewing, the beginning, we already talked about the commercialism and stuff like that. There was the bureau annoyed me more than the phone stuff. For some, I mean, I know he's got the fucking like, oh look, I got this cool phone. But just it felt a little rushed. I was hoping for more time with like it seemed like we were gonna get more time with Tombstone.
See,
Tombstone was the big one. I love Tombstone so much, and I wanted more of him. And I hope they bring Marvin Jones back because he's great.
Yeah. My favorite thing was I don't know if this was a bait comment or something on some social media, but some guy was like, fucking tired of Kingpin. with a picture of
that's
of
funny,
Tombstone.
man.
And everyone in the comments are, oh, you mean Tombstone? You mean Tombstone? It was so fucking great. But no,
Yes,
I mean,
because Kingpin,
honestly,
a famously bald character, has a fucking Jerry curl.
With sharp teeth. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't have many gripes, I'm pretty easy to get along with. And so I understand what they're saying. And we'll talk, I think, about the things we like here coming up. I think you and I, Scotty, probably are more on the same train when it comes to Jean Grey and her inclusion in the film.
See, I think we are, only because I'm not an X-Men person. I've told this story before. The only time I've ever watched X-Men was on TNT, and I was sick. So like that's mine. I was probably 11.
No,
probably in 5th grade. So I was
watched it like The Price is Right.
I did. It was on TNT. It was a whole marathon.
Can I want to make a statement, and I apologize that I may bring the room down a little bit when I say this.
Oh,
I think out of every movie that I have seen this summer, that I have not had my normal movie going person with me for.
Yeah.
This is the one I would have wanted to hear Taylor's thoughts on the most.
Yeah.
Because I came out of this movie and I kind of thought to myself, I was like, she either would have hated this or loved it, and I don't know which. Don't know which. Like, I can confidently say she would have liked Mando and Grogu. I can confidently say that, like, one of her autisms was fucking Greek mythology, that she probably would have wanted more God stuff in the Odyssey. I know where she would have fallen on the Odyssey. I know where she would have fallen on Mando and Grogu. Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't know how she would have felt about this. I will also say, those of you who listened and watched The Road to Doomsday know that every time Taylor tried to straw man my position as being Team Iron Man, she would say, and I quote, "You just want to put the X-Men and Spider-Man into shock collars to turn their powers off." And,
well, hold on, wait. I'm so glad you said that, because it was a comment that surprised me, by the way.
Right. I was going to say, I think we
keep going
here.
Well, I just want to say, I know the amount of shit I would have gotten on the way home from this movie, where she would have been like, "So are you happy your goat invented mutant shock collars, Jared?" I know she would have been. I can't. It's too small.
You got to keep him from barking.
Oh, well, so Woodsy said, I don't really like the
mad.
setup that Peter is going to be responsible for the inhibitor collars creation, which I was watching that going, oh my God, Doc Ock. But I then again, I'm baseline comic book reader. and baseline consumer of these.
You were thinking Power of the Sun in the palm of my hand style thing like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Here's where I'll defend Peter. And I'll give it to you in a second. Hold on. This technology does already exist in the MCU. At the end of Civil War, we see Wanda Maximoff in the raft with a collar. Now, you can make the argument that Peter made a breakthrough. You can make the argument that Peter accidentally made a breakthrough in containing the powers of like really high yield mutants.
Mm-hmm.
That like, you need something a little stronger for somebody like Jean Grey. But I would not I don't like it either. I would have gotten mercilessly hazed by Taylor for it. Because my goat did invent mutant shock collars a little bit, but these are going to be one of those things where it's like, I think that on the internet we're going to turn around and make fun of this a lot, but I don't think that's the intention, and I think that technology exists, and I think when it inevitably gets introduced with the X-Men, they will probably make a point of going, somebody specifically developed this for mutants in particular.
Do you think this will then lead to like, not that Peter has the same concept as Tony with the whole shield around the world thing, but do you think that could be the twist that like, the X-Men seem okay. I just don't know.
Yeah, so it's makes sense. The best part, literally everybody in the movie told them it was a bad idea. I think Peter being, at the end of Homecoming, he rejects Tony Stark's offer to join the Avengers, which I understand he does in the next film. But I think Peter is going to... I think Peter is going to have a bit of an, like... I think it could be a little bit of an Iron Man thing for him, like the first film, where I think Peter could try to right some of the wrongs he did by accidentally doing what he did. And yeah... There's a lot of stuff that I think is just very like, I think soft launching the mutants, I will say, as they've done, is a little strange, but I do think they're saving most of it. I think Jean was a bit of a tease for what we can see next. I do think that it's interesting. I will say that I wasn't bothered as much by the DODC stuff with Spider-Man working with him, working with them, because Peter Parker, especially in the MCU, but also in the other versions, has always been a character that has been incredibly intelligent in many areas, but incredibly stupid in others. Like, he has always been really, like, actually not always. I shouldn't say always, because I know what Jared's going to say to this, and he's right, because in the movies, I should say. In the movies.
You're right, I'm right.
Yeah, Peter's always been bad with girls. It's a movie thing. It started with Maguire, but it's not as true in the comics, but it is in the
Peter's
movies,
got hoes. Peter's got mad hoes in the comics, guys. We got to stop writing my boy to be an incel. My man's got mad hoes. Continue. I just needed to say that.
In the movies, Peter's been horrible with women, hence why he didn't get MJ back. Why he hesitated with MJ for 4 years. But I think that, what was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, I think that like the idea of that Jared was saying about like him about Peter like using Spider-Man as kind of like a shield around everything else, like not really live. That's the whole thing about like Spider-Man. Peter was using Spider-Man as a
Mr. Spiderman.
Yeah, as a mask to really not face himself. And I think a lot of the DODC stuff, like No Way Home, was a frenzy of a film. And if Peter was taking 5 things away from No Way Home, I really don't think that anything about the Department of Damage Control would be there, especially with what happens to him after. And I think
I don't think he just forgets that, like, he and Aunt May get arrested. I think it's insane to think, I think it's insane.
Oh, hold on, wait,
characterization
Jared.
For yeah,
We've got a guest coming in. Hold on, let me get this clip going, and we'll get him in.
All right, let's talk about this. What we've really all come here to see and talk about is Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark.
Can I finish this thought and then I'm gonna go?
Fuck you, no.
Okay.
Nah, just kidding.
Sit down.
So just real quick, I hear what you're saying, Eli, with like just how the pace that No Way Home moves at, and that, like, maybe towards the bottom of the list is the Damage Control stuff, but like Damage Control has been so poorly behaved in the intervening 4 years. Like Damage Control put a lock on a Muslim city or on a Muslim neighborhood in New Jersey, in Ms. Marvel. We know they're up to all kinds of crazy nonsense in Wonder Man. I just like DODC has been such a bad organization that I have a hard time accepting like Peter's kind of go along to get along. And again, I think so much of what we're talking about like the accidental implications of Peter doing a Patriot Act, Peter helping accidentally suppress mutant rights, all of these issues are bypassed if we don't have Jean Grey in this movie for reasons. And that's my main issue. But again, net positive on the movie for all the reasons I said earlier. With that, I yield my time to Michael to talk about the Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. I love you all.
Stay Bombad.
Thanks,
Stay Bombad.
Senator from Arkansas.
Yeah, so you may be wondering why I'm wearing this shirt right now, and the answer is because Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark is in fact bananas.
Hey, Lamau. Hey,
That was all I had to say.
Y'all, I'm just gonna go. I'll see you later. I'm done.
I will just say, despite all of this,
okay, I'm back.
I do want to emphasize that I really do think that, like, there's a lot I do love about this movie. I'm lukewarm about the no classic Spider-Man villain. I've made that clear, but I love Sadie Sink. I think the acting in this movie is an all-time high. I think everybody is killing it.
Basically.
Everybody is going it. Everybody is firing at all cylinders. I said this when I was reviewing it on Letterboxd. I think that Destin Daniel Cretton has a really incredible visual mind. I think, like, there's just shots in this film that look incredible. And
it's without a doubt the best shot Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. The editing is amazing.
It's great, and I think the we've already talked about the Punisher. The Punisher is just excellent. All of the moments, like, I love the strange bond that he forms with MJ, especially. I think that's really great. Speaking of MJ, actually, I'll say this too. As Jared alluded to, I think that the way they did the Peter and MJ relationship was really interesting and really diverges from what they've done with Spider-Man after a similar thing in the comics, which I can very briefly explain. When a memory wipe thing that happened, although it wasn't a memory wipe in this in the comics, it was the erasure of Peter and MJ's marriage by Mephisto. Incredible stuff.
To save Aunt May from a bullet wound.
To save Aunt May from a bullet wound ordered by the Kingpin. It's a lot.
I'm tired of the Kingpin.
MJ.
That's what Peter said.
Yeah, MJ gets together.
I know when he was holding him over the thing.
MJ gets together with a demon guy, and I'm not joking when I say demon guy. I mean, like, son of a demon, whose name is Paul Rabin.
Donald Trump.
Who in this film is
they
played
believe
by
Iman
Iman
Asfandi.
Asfandi.
Yeah.
Not really, but kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, ever since the comics, there's been this weird sort of thing where Peter and MJ can never really get back together again after their marriage was voided by Mephisto. And this is not doing that. Like, there's a spark still there. The reason MJ doesn't love Peter anymore is because there's no memory there. But like,
don't know him.
I thought that was the end. It was a devastating moment. I thought, this is it for MJ. We're done. Boom.
Yeah.
But then you see how she acts around Spider-Man and Peter throughout the rest of the film. And she might be saying one thing, but she's definitely doing something else.
It was the whole on the rooftop scene that got me. I was like, why would they throw that in near the end as a little tag of her on that very same rooftop in the town they grew up in, in the part of Brooklyn they grew up in. I'm like, kind of an odd thing to throw. Like, I know the Ned part, the handshake part's the part that made me cry watching it. Larissa can verify, but it was because all instead of best, it goes, that's just muscle memory. You can you do something so many times, like your brain can forget it, but your body can't. And like Ned's subtle reaction of what's going on was so pure and so real. And I mean, I've had friends that'll bring shit up to me that I haven't talked about in 15 years, and it feels like it's no time has passed. When those things do activate those neurons in your brain. And that was the crux of the movie for me that got me very emotionally invested. And the height in the movie for me is like, what would it mean to have, I guess, everyone have amnesia in some capacity and remember very small fragments of who you are and what you stand for, but not really know the true you. And the most evil manipulation part was whenever Jean Grey went into the mind of MJ, and like I was like, oh my god, what an amazing moment. And like it psyched me out. Genuinely psyched me out.
My second viewing was the best like audience reaction, because my second viewing was on a Saturday. I went Thursday night and then Saturday night, and that Saturday night there was like just like a ton of like younger people, your kids, and whenever she starts like talking to him about like, I know you got to be a part of my life, like someone up at the front literally was like, yes, and stuff, people were like having visceral reactions, and I knew it was coming, so it made it so much sweeter. But
for real.
So I knew, I was like, oh, they're about to be, everyone was like, like that kind of like nervous, like
that energy. Yeah,
the thing I've wanted to happen is happening. And when it comes to, that's right, Peter, hug her. Or like, that's right, Peter, feel like, hold her close. They were like,
it's very,
no,
it's
like
very reminiscent.
Shouting.
It's very reminiscent of the conflict in Turn Off the Dark, in which the spider goddess Arachne gives Peter the choice of love me or kill me, choose me over MJ. And Peter has to literally go, I don't know who the fuck you are. It's very similar, very clearly inspired.
Tell us more.
Give me a second.
So, what you have to understand is, first of all, there's two different versions of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. And Caduceus gets very enraged by it, as you can tell. So the original version of Turn Off the Dark was the pure, unfiltered vision of the director Julie Taymor. And
I won't do this. Michael's doing this right now. He's explaining Spider-Man to you.
Yes.
There you go, buddy.
So in most versions of Spider-Man, it's complete random chance that a radioactive spider bites him. But in Julie Taymor's vision, he is chosen by the spider goddess Arachne, who bestows upon him this power.
Is the Web of Life and Destiny in this, or is it not?
I don't know what that is, so no. However, So then after that, it's a little bit like a normal Spider-Man story. Green Goblin shows up. Green Goblin has a piano dropped on him and he dies. Classic Spider-Man stuff. And then Peter's just chilling. He's doing cool shit until Arachne shows up and starts taking over the city, and she becomes incredibly jealous of Mary Jane. And she has a whole musical number about what Mary Jane has that she doesn't. And she determines that the one thing MJ has is shoes. And so she commands all her spider minions to go get her some shoes. And there's a whole musical and dance number about it. And let's see what else happens. They cut a scene where she like seduces J. Jonah Jameson and he basically comes in his pants. That's a real thing that almost happened. And then Spider-Man, she's like, Spider-Man, love me or kill me. And he's just like, I don't really know who you are. We've never like spoken. But I want to stop, all these villains that are destroying the city that you summoned. But it turns out that none of the villains she summoned were real. They were all illusions. So what the entire latter half of the play was is very unclear. And then Arachne just chooses to die. And the moral of the story is that, the Greek myth of Arachne is typically that, it's very much about hubris, that she thought she could do better than the gods and all this. But the moral of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark is she was actually better than all the gods and she had to be punished for it. And the same thing happened to Julie Taymor when she was fired from Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, and they had to completely rework it. They couldn't completely remove Arachne because unfortunately they did spend a lot of money on the costume and all that. But they did have Green Goblin survive to the end and be the main villain. And adapted that song that she sang to be slightly different so that it becomes a Green Goblin song called A Freak Like Me Needs Company, which, if you think about it, is also the moral of Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Boom.
Absolute cinema. I just wanted to do the Scorsese meme.
Michael,
I thought Scorsese was here for a second, or at least
I was crazy. It was absolute cinema.
And by the way, if anyone wants to learn more about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, there's a great book about it called Song of Spider-Man, which is written by one of the writers from Turn Off the Dark.
Wow.
And he also narrates the artist.
In Brand New Day, Spider-Man kind of comes his pants in that one scene with his organic web, but not his pants.
That was wild.
I will say that is another thing.
So not only that.
That was not what I was talking about.
It was the fire hose and then the psh, 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 that I was like, all right now.
So if we're going to talk about that, honestly, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man is just like a 100% metaphor for puberty. Like the whole scene with him shooting webs in his room and Aunt May tries to walk in and he goes, I'm not decent,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
classic.
Michael.
The crusty sock he has under his bed in that movie too. Remember that?
Real talk, Michael McCoy. I'm so glad to have you here. It's been a minute since you've been on Bombadcast.
Yeah.
And we really should do a whole dedicated episode of Turn Off the Dark. I just made that thumbnail to make me and other people laugh and get confused.
Made me laugh as soon as I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew it did. But I really wanted to just get your thoughts real quick. And Jerry and I have talked a little bit. Eli's talked a little bit, but in terms of this movie, when you left it, it seemed like you were one of the few people in our group chat. I know we're all hyped for the movie, but I feel like you were the most excited because we were texting about it. And you were just like, "Oh my god, 2 hours to this movie, 3 hours to this movie. I got to get through a 5-hour shift, and I get this." Like, I don't know. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
I really did. I wasn't paying too much attention to the marketing, but I knew there was a lot of speculation about who the villain was. I know that it seemed like a very atypical setup for a Spider-Man movie in a lot of ways. Even down to just like what I remember from the trailers of like him fighting the Hand. I'm like, this is bizarre, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
The way I described it is it feels more so like any other Spider-Man movie, like it leapt straight out of a comic book page. Just the way that because obviously the MCU Spider-Man has crossed over with all aspects of the Marvel universe. Iron Man's a huge part of Homecoming and Far From Home, and obviously all the other Spider-Men are a big part of No Way Home. But in terms of Brand New Day, just like him interacting with specifically Punisher, Hulk, and Jean Grey feels like such a weird mashup
Wild.
of characters that some comic writer would just do.
Yeah.
And Punisher is phenomenal. He's my favorite part of the whole movie because I've not been keeping up with MCU television. So I haven't seen Born Again. I haven't seen One Last Kill. The last thing that I've seen John Bernthal's Punisher in was season 2 of the original Netflix Daredevil.
Wow, like
2015, 16 of Daredevil. I will say so. I've seen. I haven't seen everything. I did actually see season 1 of the Frank-led show, The Punisher. Which is an interesting show.
I watched 20 minutes of the first episode when it came out.
It's a really slow first season. I haven't gone to the second season. It's a lot. There's a lot to it. It's very much. It was a concern from a lot of people, and me a little bit, but like I wasn't as worried because I knew that the MCU are people are masters at putting together characters that shouldn't work together.
Yeah.
But like the stuff that they're dealing with in season 1 of The Punisher is so radically different than Frank in Brand New Day. Like it is really like they're dealing with the fallout of war crimes and stuff about gun rights and like this really heavy, moody stuff. I mean, like I don't know if you remember, like Michael, from that first 20 minutes, but like the first 5 minutes of The Punisher season 1 is just Frank sniping people. That's literally all it is.
Well, so
I just remember him hitting a wall for 20 minutes.
That too.
I wanted to say that just watching it, you know, I was sitting with my girlfriend to my right and we're watching it, and you know, when he started to take up a sniper in that big, you know, scene between Spider-Man and Jean Grey, and I was like, oh my god, like and she goes, what? I go, that's like if he had a superhero skill, that is his skill. He's a sharpshooter. Because I knew that from reading comics when I was like in 3rd or 4th.
Well, he was introduced as a Spider-Man villain. Like
yes.
He was introduced as a Spider-Man character. Same thing with the Kingpin, actually.
And
he's more known for being a Daredevil character, but now he's a. But he was.
I was watching it and I'm like, this is not going to end well. I said they're going to either kill, you know, Jean Grey or they're going to kill Spider-Man. And like, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. At the beginning of our screening, this guy is like, Spider-Man dies in the end, like yells that joke. And I know he was shitting his pants when Peter got hit. I know he was like, oh my god, I just ruined this whole movie for everyone. I know he had to be panicking. And the ultimate part of this movie, and you know, I know Jerry actually. You're more than welcome to talk. I feel like we haven't given you a chance to talk all that much, and I feel kind of bad.
Hey,
but the part you and I,
Jerry, what did you think about Turn Off the Dark?
Turn Off the Dark to me. So I love Julie Taymor's early work with Across the Universe.
Hell yeah!
And so that really got me, I think, on the Taymor pipeline. You know,
that was it.
Oh, we haven't.
No, I want
the music.
I'm a real Taymor head.
Was done by The Edge and Bono. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. No, but Jerry and I texted about
Julie Taymor. You know, musicals. I say, give me Taymor.
Okay, I want you to talk about the VMAX part because that was the part that you and I talked about privately for a little bit. That shit.
I was stunned by that. I was like, should I know that?
So,
am I supposed to know that?
The VMAX. Well, yeah. So you're the whole time. I mean, I'm a very novice comic fan as well and stuff. Like I know a lot more ever since these movies have been coming out. I've read more stuff, but I'm going through and I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be something because like I'm thinking like she's Jean Grey. She's probably Jean Grey before you know we even get the reveal. But VMAX, you keep going through your head and go through your head, but the reveal and the brutality of. And the moment that immediately flips everything, like whether you think that Jean's a villain or you didn't like how they made her they made her a villain and stuff. You didn't like that they did that. I feel like that's the moment where everything switches because you're like, you realize, oh shit, these guys, these are evil bastards who are testing this crazy technology, melting if I remember, think correctly too, her sister, was it an older sister or a younger sister? I don't know
Older, I
which,
think.
but older, but they're
Older,
still
yeah.
like
Although
under
yeah.
18, both of them, correct?
At the very
Like, they're
least,
still
she's more
kids.
powerful than Jean in that flashback.
She's
so I
older,
assume
although
she's
it's funny because
Right.
Sadie Sink is noticeably older than like Sadie Sink is in her early 20s, and the girl playing her older sister was 16, which is very funny.
Right. Well, and I'll just say these are men who melted the mind of a 16-year-old. So you see that reveal that it's just that, like, it's the last thing her dying brain saw, and in a desperate attempt sent that out to her, the one person she knew she could trust, her sister. Absolutely fucking brutal, but so goddamn good, so well executed. Just Peter the whole time.
Really,
What's VMAX? What's VMAX?
Yeah.
You know,
it and
absolute cinema.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about the people who are detaining her, because in the comics, and I was doing a bit of Googling about this because I'm not super knowledgeable about this, but people were pointing out when it was in the when we learned of the guy's name, William Metzger, in the comics was not part, like, Damage Control is mostly an MCU thing. He was not, Billy Metzger in the comics was not a part of the of any government. William Metzger was an anti-mutant activist. William Metzger was one of those crusaders like you see in the X-Men films who are talking about these abominations of nature that are mutants. Like, this is a guy, and it's very much the harbinger, because he's not, like, when you think of people who have anti-mutant prejudice in the Marvel universe, you don't, like, Metzger is not a household name like people like William Stryker or Bolivar Trask is.
Or Swiss
But, like,
Miss.
Or Swiss Miss. But
that's an exclusive villain from Turn Off the
King in
Dark.
this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And Metzger is a precursor to people like William Stryker and Bolivar Trask and people who hate mutants, and this anti-mutant sentiment, I'm certain after Secret Wars and when we get into X-Men stuff, it's going to spread all across the universe. It's going to be a real problem.
Across the Universe, directed by Julie Taymor.
Yeah. I said that, I was like,
is there anybody going to listen to my story? All about the girl who went away.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep
All right,
going, Jerry. I think
I got to rewatch. I haven't watched since college, I don't think so.
Great movie. I think
like that movie.
Michael's texting me Swiss Miss. Thank you, Michael.
That was
Swiss
the
Miss is
that was the I
badass
was bringing up
looking.
when
Hey,
Turn Off the
Midget,
Dark
make
was
sure you mention Swiss Miss.
That was originally from
Whoa.
from Turn Off the Dark, and has never been in anything ever since.
Correct. She's part of that.
She doesn't.
Adaptation.
Does she have
of
a
the
giant
Sinister
spoon
Six.
as a weapon?
I think so.
Really?
Looks like it. Looks like a spoon.
Very cool.
I think if there's anything else we can really discuss too in terms of what this movie meant to us and where it went, because I'm getting a tad bit sleepy. I had my first day of school today with the kids. Year eight, and I'm feeling heavy. My brain feels heavy. I saw a lot of awful commentary about the post-credit scene, and to me, it is without a doubt the most brilliant and cheapest one they've ever made, in the sense of like hype, because we know exactly what it's referring to.
Well, technically, the cheapest one they've ever done was the post-credit scene of Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's just a teaser for X-Men Days of Future Past.
That is true. That was
the one they do at the end of No Way Home, which is the teaser for Multiverse of Madness. But yeah,
there we go. But what I'm getting at is the whole idea that it has to be some sort of incursion. It's got to imply that there's a Spider-Man in a other part of the universe that is going to cause a cross. It's gonna, like, how else do you end it with the next movie being Doomsday?
Yeah.
I'm convinced it has to be that.
It could be a Battle World thing. It could be a Spider-Verse thing.
Yeah, it could be Battle World. It's either Battle World or it's just about Andrew, or more likely Toby. Spider-Man crossing into the 616, if that's what you
I saw someone said they filmed it, on their phone in slow-mo, and when it does the cut, it says what universe is Toby from. It said the number. Isn't it like?
Oh, I don't remember what universe Toby's from. I'd have to look.
I
Give me
can't
a
remember.
second.
No.
But
did you
it's
see
about-
like
I think
that,
it's universe
that news
20
story?
because that's the age of the women he dates.
Jesus, Michael.
This guy. He's wearing a banana shirt.
96283 is the Raimi universe. 96283.
Okay. Well, I mean, did y'all see the I don't know if this has any validity. I don't know if I just like scrolled past something that was just nonsense, but someone was saying that they are trying to pitch a Spider-Man 4 to Sam Raimi that they want to write. Like I forget the writer.
Matt
Did anyone that?
who co-wrote, who did uncredited writing on the Batman.
Right. That's what it was.
I've been pitching that to Sam Raimi for years, and I've not.
So as Bombad Daniel.
You just want to do a shot-for-shot remake of Turn Off the Dark.
No, I have my own film called Spider-Man: Rise of the Red Goblin that I've been thinking of.
Oh shoot! It does have 96283 on there.
Someone says it appeared when the glitch shot happened. So I'm genuinely convinced that this could
that
be
might be a clue. Yeah. No, I don't think
Peter 2.
I'd love for a Spider-Man 4 or TASM 3 to happen. I don't think either of them are going to happen. I don't think they're going to. Like,
what about Madam Web 2?
Yeah,
I gotta find out how those girls
more
got their
spiders
powers.
and more Amazon.
Some people are saying it's fake. I mean, I don't know. I just know that in a post-credit scene, I love this. Well, we've got Beck is causing some. Oh, this is Grayson. That's Beck's other family member. Beck's causing some.
Hello, Grayson.
Beck's causing some strife in the chat. It is
throwing
fake.
just
Thank you,
lobbing grenades, just lobbing grenades in the chat.
Pumpkin bombs, one might say.
But obviously, we have a lot to catch up on until we go to the theaters in December, and my goal is to watch some X-Men movies. To kind of, I want to almost watch all the pre 2008
You
movies
don't need
because I've
to watch
never
all
actually.
the X-Men movies. I can tell you which X-Men movies you do and do not need to watch. It's not simple.
Just watch Origins Wolverine. That's the only one you need.
Yeah,
okay, I can do that.
Wolverine, the worst of all of them.
Listen, I've had enough of these fucking anti-jokes, man. Come on. No, I'm joking.
By the way,
okay.
As Jared has often said, have you ever had a sincere thought in your life?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on. My show, I'm talking. Okay. So I forget what I was
that's a funny comment.
No, so okay. I thought X-Men was the right at the
like the knockoff X-Men, like the awful. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Well, no, okay, so I don't know. I really enjoy this. I really like both the past two Spider-Man movies have really spoke to me as a person because, like the first one, he goes to that self-imposed exile kind of a thing, but then now we get him coming back around to going back to Aunt May's grave saying, I'm not going to do this alone, and I don't know, that's a really good, powerful message. I think a lot of people these days need to hear,
Absolutely.
because I think that's a big thing that people are struggling with these days, frankly. And so I loved that theme.
Another thing that young people are struggling with these days is when they stop being Spider-Man. And so what should have happened is Spider-Man's dead dad should have showed up at the grave, randomly being alive with no explanation and saying, look, I know this doesn't make any sense, but you need to be Spider-Man.
This was the proposed plot for the Amazing Spider-Man 3, by the way.
No, this was the deleted ending from Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Peter Parker's dead dad shows up at Gwen's grave to convince Peter to be Spider-Man again for ill-defined reasons.
It's a whole mess. I do want to address, because I feel like I've had this on enough, because I feel like I've been teasing it a lot. This thing right here. Twice now, Simon Kinberg, who you all may know from co-creating Star Wars Rebels and maybe writing the next Star Wars trilogy, has been trying to do a specific storyline from the X-Men comics called the Dark Phoenix Saga, or the Phoenix Saga, or whatever you want to call it, in which Jean Grey is possessed, maybe, or maybe she had it in her the whole time. We don't really know. By
there was aliens in that one movie.
There was aliens in that one movie. By a force called the Phoenix Force that makes her basically go apeshit, crazy. And just like her powers expand exponentially, she causes havoc all across the world. It's like a real problem for all the rest of the X-Men. Twice he's tried to do this, and somehow the second time was worse than the first time. And they did it in the third X-Men movie, The Last Stand, and it totally failed. And they did it again in Dark Phoenix, and it totally failed. And I'm begging these people, don't do it again.
But wouldn't it be really funny if they did?
Stop.
It'd be funny, and Sadie Sink would act the shit out of it. But like,
we should have characters defined by only one storyline and just keep trying that over and over.
I like that idea.
It's really something. The Dark Phoenix stuff is really something, and I think that
folks, we love the Dark Phoenix. We love it. We want to do it again.
We love the Shi'ar, folks. We like to say Shi'ar. The Dabari.
What is this act or phase 3 of the High Republic? The Shi'ar? What's going on?
The Shi'ar are the original alien species that created the Phoenix Force in the comics.
No one cares. The Shi'ar are Markion Rowe's bodyguards.
Michael. Nobody cares.
That was that's the best line delivery of the entire stream. That's right.
Anyway,
we scripted.
We need to wrap it up. I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
Eli, you have said I will also say 30 times tonight.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
What's your one
more
other
thing,
Eli?
You sound mad.
The moment that they nailed in this movie, I want to say the moment that they nailed in this movie.
What do they nail?
Yeah.
I will say.
When Jean is talking through the hand and telepathy to Peter, and she's like, "Who are you? Who are you, Peter Parker or Spider-Man?" And he lands the "I'm both."
Okay,
that's the moment.
That part really hit hard for me.
They land the plane
as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the answer.
I know
that's always been the answer.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it's great.
The eyes like dilating all the way too in that moment. I'm like, this is crazy sick, man.
That's our lock-in moment. It's great. Landed great.
I will say, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was doing Eli, you know. No, I'm just kidding. But really, all in all, I love the movie. I can't wait to go see it again, and I will go see it again. It is one of those ones that does deserve repeated watching, and it will be seen by me again. Michael, I can't wait to get our Broadway tickets to Turn Off the Dark together.
Scotty. Oh, buddy.
What?
It's not on Broadway anymore, my friend.
It's off Broadway
what
now.
What happened to it?
No. It's off Broadway.
Yeah, they took it. No, they completely took it out back and they shot it. They called Frank Castle and said, "Get your sniper, buddy. It's time to put this thing down," because it lost millions of dollars and was not good. Even
why? It sounds like it would be very successful.
Version. I know, and worst of all, there's no pro shot version of either version. So
all
alas,
about the girl who went away.
Yeah, there's you can buy the album.
It's the kind of tale that makes you say sorry. I don't even know if these are the right words.
I don't either.
Why can't we watch this, though?
I've just seen a face.
People have compiled like a close version
me
of 2.0, but no one's compiled a complete version of 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
Canceled Las Vegas national tour and future productions.
Pull up General Cameroni's comment.
Hold on.
I call Craven the Hunter because he's in this and I like him, and so I'm calling Craven the Hunter.
He's also just an inflatable. In Turn Off the Dark.
I love when someone speaks like and we, the royal we can stop singing. Damn.
He's just
Oh,
talking
also
like that.
this. We should bring back Marfa.
What is this?
Launch a
Oh
campaign.
my! Wow.
I
should.
found a Marfa lump recently, and so I consulted my doctor about it.
Check yourself at least once a month for Marfa lumps.
It's true. Or have a friend do it for you.
Just like, this.
I'm going
or,
to bed. I'm tired of talking.
Just while you're in the shower.
Scotty's trying to end the
rifle
show
around
the
down
way
there.
I hang up
Just
on
rifle
Discord
around.
calls.
Just rifle around and see if you find any.
And as always, what's a catchphrase from Turn Off the Dark? Say that catchphrase.
A freak like me needs company.
Oh, what the hell just happened? Sorry, I booted all of you. Do it again, Michael. Do it again.
A freak like me needs company.
Stay Bombad.
Stay Bombad.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share.
What is it? Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? Alzheimer's disregard, a broken bottle top,
and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer.
If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
come on, change. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
no message could have been any clearer.
If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Time for us to take a break, but we wouldn't dream of being gone for long. See you in a little bit.